This pulley had a keyway originally, but obviously I've opened the bore up, which has removed the vast majority of it. It is still there, but it's far too shallow to be effective. The shaper is a perfect tool to come in and deepen that keyway for us, but what I don't have is an internal keyway cutting tool to go in here, so I've got to make that first. So this is our finished tool setup. This is the tool bit that I ground. We got a couple of degrees of front rake, about 5 degrees clearance underneath, and then a couple of degrees clearance this way, and then the same in that direction. So this would be the cutting edge, and as it comes through the material we want clearance and where necessary. That's going to fit into our forged bar, like so. It's going to fit in there, and then there's a grub in the front which will secure it in and also locate it square. That's obviously adjustable to some degree. Right, tightens up with Allen. Cheers, Allen. And there we go. Let's go and see if it works. There's always something in there. There's a few things we need to do before we can start cutting. First things first is I need to lock the clapper, because the leverage on this end is going to cause the tool to lift when it comes under load and it won't be cutting. So there is a locking point here. I need to find a bolt for that. It's unnecessarily long, but it will do the job. I also need to square up the edge of our tool with the table. That's going to be done with a parallel and by eye. Because we're not using the clapper, I can use the clapper adjustment here to get that dialed in properly. The tool slide is set to 0 degrees, and then we need to adjust our stroke and ram position, and then finally select an appropriate speed. The ball wheel and the crank is currently where it would be in the middle of the reverse stroke, so I'm going to push my ram forward. So it's roughly in the middle of the workpiece, because the middle of the workpiece represents where we want the middle of our stroke to be. It's quite difficult when it's inside something. There we are, lock that down there. Now by turning the machine over, I can see whether I need to adjust the stroke length, and we can see that the tool is not clearing the entire work. So in this case, the stroke length needs to be increased. And we do that adjustment here. And check again. I'm making sure that the tool is going to be cutting in line with the original Keyway and also with the edges of my new ball. I'm just lining this up by eye and using a feeler gauge to make sure that the 4 corners of the old Keyway are level with each other in both directions. The accuracy here is not massively critical because the key will be hand fitted when the pulley is installed on the shaft. As long as it's in line with my ball and in line with the original Keyway, then it'll be absolutely fine. So a little word about selecting the right speed. On this graph we have the feet per minute going up this side, and that is the feet per minute that the tool travels. Along the bottom we have the stroke length, which is the length of the stroke that the tool is travelling, and in this green area is suitable speeds that you might want to machine brass and bronze, and then this area down here are the suitable speeds that you might want to machine iron and steel. Of course, the stroke length is proportional to the speed. The longer the stroke length in any given gear, the faster the feet per minute, because it's a crank. These lines represent the different speeds that I can achieve on my cone. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. The small pulley is going to achieve faster speeds up to about 60 feet per minute, which is fast. And then the large pulley is going to achieve slower. To select the right speed for a particular job, we're going to start with the stroke length, which we know. And in this case, our stroke length is 6 inches of work plus clearance. So we have a stroke length of around 8 inches. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to go straight up. So where we meet that line, the gear 2 line, we go straight across, and that's going to give us a speed of approximately 17 feet per minute because we're machining iron. So we could go up a gear from gear 2, but this is a high tool pressure operation. I'm also hand feeding it, so I don't want things to happen too quickly. So I'm going to stay down in gear 1 for now and see how that goes. I have to give a quick shout out to Rustin Ox because he has made a fantastic video about this subject, about the whole system and method of working out shaper speeds and how to do it. So if you want more detail, go and check that out. I will put a link in the description. But now let's oil her up and cut a keyway. The old broomstick shifter. Keyway cup. Let's break this down and see what she looks like. Well, that's another step towards this pulley being ready for action. It's going to clamp up on the 3-inch shaft really nicely, and then a custom made jib key will be knocked in as well, just to lock the whole thing up. I'll put some close-up pictures at the end, just so you can have a good look at the finished result. I hope you enjoyed watching this old machine do some old-fashioned jobs. It really is nice to be able to get to use them for what they were intended for. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.